Well, hi, good morning, and thanks so much for joining me here in my shop. Today is the 1st of May, and I'm starting on this radio, which I know very little about. I'm repairing this for someone. The main problem with this radio is a broken string. So maybe that's all there is, a broken string, maybe a light. But we will see. So let's see, this is called a Nordmende Spectra Phonic. Spectra Phonic. Boy, that's a cool word. Spectra Phonic. Broadcast, FM, and that's it. It's a two-bander. The radio seems to be a little on an angle in the cabin. It doesn't look quite right. Looks like it's tipped downward. Oh. Okay, it's not held in very well. Here it says solid state. Okay, great. Looks like one speaker. On, off, tone. Station, of course there's no string. This must be volume. Tone. So the tone is just a push button. That's quite common in European radios. They tend to not have a dial. Broadcast, FM, broadcast. Oh, phono input here. Good, but I don't think this would be stereo. Okay, now I have the back off of it already. We'll take a look at the back here. The back is in great shape. This radio looks like it's in great shape. You know, most of these backs would be warped, signs of humidity, water age, all that stuff. This looks great. It's the Spectraphonic C. 10 watts. Do not defeat the purpose of the interlock. Well, that's already happened. You need 2 antennas, a dipole for the FM, and some other kind, maybe a wire for the AM. There's probably a built-in loop antenna. State these numbers in any inquiries. Slow blow fuse, and the inputs. Let's spin it around now. Take a look at what we're talking about. So the feet appear to be missing on this radio completely. I think it's just bouncing on its, on the... actually, it looks like more is missing than just feet. But I guess this is the way the bottom looks, just raw wood. And it looks like there's 4 feet are just missing. Maybe they're in a bag here somewhere. I've missed them. Okay, let's see. So I have the schematic for this radio, and I've already studied it, and it has a stringing diagram. I've taken a peek at that. There's 2 strings in this radio. One of them you can see up here with this spring is pulled tight. That string is still intact. In fact, I think it just goes around and goes right into this FM tuning box. No, it looks like it goes down. Looks like it goes down the back here. Yikes. So doing strings on European style radios is usually quite challenging. So most of the string is still in place, so that's helpful too. I won't fool around with that too much. What else do I see here? Can't see too much else here. This should be outside, not inside. I'll just put that over here. Outside, I mean it should have been here. Okay, let's take it out. Let's take it out. Let's see what we've got here. Oh. So there's a locking screw that should be in here. It's missing. So even though I turn this knob, it's just spinning free. Oh boy. That's the brass ring. Takes the strain instead of the plastic taking it. How about this guy? Okay, this guy appears to be locked on still. It looks like he's got... You know what? You don't have to pull these knobs off. The window, they'll go right through. They don't need to take them off. Whoop, whoop, whoop. And that's how the ring gets lost. No, I got it. Let me stick this back on here. Better on there than off. Yeah, I don't have to take those off. We just have to do these screws here. So perhaps the owner has by accident hung on to the feet, which he's removed. Occasionally I've done this. I've taken feet off of radios to shrink them a little bit so they'll fit on the shelf. Maybe that's what's happened here. Oh, that's as loose as can be. So maybe this wire, okay. There we go. Put those over there. Out you come. So what I'm looking for is something that's not coming, and what is not coming is the antenna up here. It's long. Well, that's really interesting. Okay, so the antenna that's up there is not plugged in. The cord is just jammed up in there. It's supposed to be plugged in here. So this radio is missing its FM antenna, in the sense that it wasn't plugged in. Okay, we'll bring it out. Now, what is going on here? Whoa, 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 wait a minute. That's Velcro. Why is there Velcro down there? Velcro. There's no Velcro inside here. Okay, so we have to do something about, oh my gosh, what is all that up in there too? The whole circuit's still up in the radio here. So, Senate Concepts. That's what it says on it right here. Senate Concepts. There's only two wires going over, and they have to be the speaker wires. It's really kind of odd here. They're green here, and then suddenly they turn red and black underneath this tape. There's a history here of some sort. I'm just looking at that big capacitor here and just noticing it's not perfectly in line, like at right angles. Now that's got to be the way it's built, but it's odd, isn't it? Odd that they would build this and install this so this is on a bit of an angle too. It can't have shifted, can it? It just can't. No. It's got to be fixed right onto the chassis. Well, that's a little odd. What's going on here? Now, it's not odd that these wires are cut and taped back. Whoops. Because if anybody's taken the stereo out, like I'm doing, they would have cut these wires, or else I have to bring out the entire speaker. What's involved in that? Because there's quite a circuit up there with it. And it appears to be nothing here in the front, so I think I might try to take that speaker out and keep it with the radio. So I can see look like 4 retaining bolts coming back from the it's questionable as to what those do. I'm quite curious about this. I'm going to try to take these out. I think that's what we'll do. I don't know if I can get a tool. Okay, so in the short term I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these wires. Now, is there any chance of polarity in these wires? pretty far-fetched to think there might be some kind of polarity in them. Yeah. So I think maybe I'm going to cut them. I'm going to cut it back here and bring the junk out. The junk being all of this. I'm curious as to whether these ever got soldered. Nope. So whoever fooled with this radio once before didn't have a soldering iron or didn't bother using it here. I can't slip this one off. So, you know, it could mean some big things. It could mean this radio is from another radio. Somebody's from the identical radio, but this is a different chassis from the one that was originally in here. That would explain the difference in the colored wires, and vice versa. This could have been changed out. It's not very likely. It's extremely unlikely that the manufacturer started with red and black wires here and had green wires and then decided to connect them in the space here. That's just not likely to have happened. So there's a history here. Here's that antenna I was mumbling about, the antenna lead, which is always supposed to be plugged in the back of the radio, and wasn't. So I believe the current owner of this radio acquired it because it's nice looking and that, and I think it partially works. We'll find out soon enough. But then I guess either broke the string or discovered the string was broken too late. The string is broken. It doesn't look broken. That's not broken. You know what? I don't think this string is broken. I think the string has come off. Is that a broken end right there? Let's investigate the string situation right now. At the very least, I'll have some thoughts about it in my head to think about for the rest of today. Let's see. Now, maybe my camera's not on autofocus. Give me a moment here. I'm just going to focus my camera properly. Oh, no, it is on autofocus. Coronavirus. Oh, man. Okay. Just bear with me one more moment while I try to recover from that sneeze. Coughing, sneezing. I'm just calling up the dialog box for the camera you're looking through right now. Yes, it's on auto. Okay, string. Yeah, so this end that's hanging here is not cut at all. So there's a retaining plastic piece there, and there's one there. I think this string is just fallen off. How could it fall off? I don't think it's broken anywhere. Okay. I think we're really in good luck here, because strings can be very, very, very difficult, very frustrating things to work on. Let me look it over nicely now. So we got a pulley here. String apparently has fallen off it. Pulley here. String apparently ready to go on it. String. This string is hooked up to the pointer. The pointer's going to want it, so the string's going to want to come down. That doesn't look... Okay, so this string's going to want to be at the back. Yeah. Now I have some... Oh, you're not going to see too much here. I have some handy... I have a handy string tool, which I call my pusher puller. Here it is. So all I've done here is I have a hook on this end of the tool. And this end I have a reverse hook. Can you kind of see how that's done? So I can hook something and push it. My pusher puller. So I want to make sure the back one is the back one. So the problem with doing a string is while you're doing it, it falls off everything all the time. Now what's this is the dial here. This is the tuning dial, and you know there's a bigger problem here. I think somebody's worked on this a little bit. That's what I think. Let's take a look at the situation here. So, you know, this is, I'm going to turn the knob on the front of the radio. So you see it turning. For that string to grab onto the spool, it needs to go around at least one full turn and probably two. That's a pretty wide spool. Looks to me like many turns of the knob to push the pointer across. So it's a fairly large flat area in the bottom of the spool for the string to crawl across. And see how the sides of the spool are swept upwards? Looks like a glacial valley. So the idea of that is the string, when it gets to the end of the run, when it's walked its way to the one end or the other, wound its way, however you want to word it, it will climb up the hill there, but then slide down, pushing itself back towards the center of the spool. That's kind of the theory there. So the spool needs to be nice and clean and smooth and shiny like it is. So the string will slide back and forth, but you can't have it so arranged that the string will slide when you turn the pulley. Do you follow that? Turn the dial? I don't know if you follow that. So there's a problem there. Oh, I see another thing. Okay, now I got the story. So that's where the string broke. Somebody tied it together and then discovered very quickly it's not long enough anymore. And there's just no way you can get it all on. Yeah, that's the problem. The string broke. Now there should be a spring. Where's the spring? There really needs to be a spring in the arrangement here. There's no way a spring goes in there. Well, let's do a little inspection of the radio itself and see if we can find a spring that's fallen into it and been lost among all these parts. So I got this just a little too close. Let me just change the focus here. Just give me one moment. You can see a little more of the radio then. Okay. I'm just going to start in this corner and work my way through. Now I'm looking for, no, I'm not really looking for the spring. What I'm really looking for is just anything that needs to be seen. You know, burned up parts, broken things, just anything. Still got a little bit too much zoom on this, I think. So the owner has, I believe he's told me that this essentially works. It's working. It's just the string. Just looking at the condition of the board, the amount of dirt on it. It's far from being the worst I've seen. It does look like it's been in a like a damp or moist location, but the cabinet doesn't show any signs of that at all. Great big capacitor there. 1015 volts. That's probably got to go. Don't know for sure. In fact, there's one there. Another guy right there. There's a whole bunch in the background. There's a couple of guys right here. So typically electrolytic capacitors get weak first. Lots and lots of that kind of stuff in here. Well, I didn't see the spring. We're almost finished going through it. So here's the little fuse. Now, is that fuse in the power supply? Pretty certain to be. There's the prongs coming in, so that's got to be right off the outlet. Occasionally these radios have a fuse in the high voltage circuits. It's actually high voltage. Don't see it. Here's the transformer. Ooh. Well, those are mighty flimsy looking connections here. Wow, it's really flimsily done. But I'm sure it's okay. And that's the volume control right there. 85 degree capacitor. See what it says, plus 85? You know, you're better off getting 100. These are all 85s? Who knows? You know, those things don't mean much after, say, 25 years or 30 years. Well, I think that's it. Did I go through everything? There's some lights. Here's the lights. Oh, they're not. Oh, there's one burned out right there. Can you just look at boom, burned out. There's some kind of, looks like covering on it. Ikes. Okay, so those are a bit of a problem. I think we'll probably end up figuring out how to change those into LEDs or something like that. But you just got two light bulbs. 1, 2. Trying to light the back. See the white plastic the bulb is pushing up against. I'm trying to use that as a diffuser to make the light equal and even on the front panel here, but it probably isn't. It probably got two pretty bright spots on it. Okay, so what are we finding out here? We're finding out the spring appears to be gone. That's not a problem. I got lots of springs. We need to look at the string diagram, and I think maybe the first order is just go ahead and fix the string and not worry about playing this right now. I just stay concentrated on the string. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. How come that guy's on a funny angle? What happened to him? Did he get smashed? Knocked over? No, that's how it is. That's as rigid as can be. It's a little hard to see in the camera. Maybe if I take it this way, you'll see the angle of this thing I'm looking at. Yeah, it's really hard to show. It doesn't look bad at all on the camera, but this thing's on a, looks like it's knocked over. That is really weird, but it's solid as can be. Okay, I think I got the general gist of it here. Oh, we should look underneath this. Let's look underneath this board here. Let's see if I can flip this guy over. See what we see underneath. Shouldn't see too much. Ooh, just discovered. Okay, the plastic front here has been glued in place with glue this is like shoe glue. It's like the stuff I use. It's not enough to hold it. Why is it being glued? I don't know. Okay, we'll flip it over and be careful. Flip it over. It's right out of the chassis here, right out of the cabinet rather. No reason to even have the cabinet here. Okay. Put down like that. Oh, I'm holding on to the front panel, which is coming right off. Okay. Can it sit like this? Yes, it can. There we go. Not much to see though. It's got the chassis number right there. This pin is just a millimeter away from this screw here. It's just, wow. It's not shorted, but man, is it close. There's the Velcro. There's another Nordmende sticker that gives things like serial numbers, like that serial number 5005445. They must have had like a roll of these printed, and then as these came off the assembly line, they'd rip off the next tag, stick it on it, and then write in the book, you know, blah 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 blah. Keep track of things. There's really not much to see here. So here's a couple of lead wires they didn't bother cutting off, and one of them is almost shorting. They didn't clean this up. Write a letter to Nordmende and tell them what happened here. So they have a lot of access holes, probably for doing adjustments, for alignment and things like that. Got some kind of a ground solder attachment to the chassis here. Soldering right onto the main grounded part of the board. There's nothing to see here. So I'm just going to bend this away a little bit just to make me feel a little bit better. Okay. Flip her over again. I guess we can just flip it up and over this way. Okay, yeah, stringing diagram. So no spring fell out. I'm pretty sure there's a spring missing in that affair. I just finished knocking the board off, the front panel off. Let's take it off of here. Get that off. Okay, so to get this guy off. Oops. Something like that. Okay. Chinese screwdriver. There we go. This is a kind of a dumb arrangement here. What I want to do is just set the set the set screw in deeper, because I think it's right on the, there we go, right on the verge of falling out. There we go. Don't want to lose that one. One missing, brass ring. I'll have to find a very small set screw. Now this should come right off. Ta 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 ta. I don't know. Can you see that? Oh, can't see any of that. So, what's going on in the back of this? I don't know what they are. I don't know what that is. It looks like somebody tried cleaning it but then stopped. Some kind of tape here. Remnants of tape, probably foam. There's probably a foam tape to here, maybe something similar up here. Then here's the most recent glue, which I'm just going to pull off because it's not doing much. So I guess the original way this was held in place is gone. glue was the choice. Not a good choice, I don't think. But this is good glue to come off. Good thing it's not epoxy. Okay, so this will need a bit of a cleanup, but otherwise it looks just great. Now, let's look at what's been revealed on the radio. Sorry if I wasn't holding that right on camera. So this is the backing diffuser for the light. The two bulbs are behind this. This is very typical of a European radio. There's a string here, goes to here, and another one up here. In fact, they've managed to use one piece of string to do this somehow. There's a spring right here. A spring putting a tiny amount of tension onto the string that's here. And the string is going through this arrangement, which is very, very fragile. So this looks like two sheets of paper. I can see them over here. And then a plastic piece has been brought around and shaped onto them. You can see the edges here a little bit. That's why this looks a little darker yellow. It's actually plastic here. And then the plastic is what the string is running in. Because how else are you going to hold the paper? I don't know. Couldn't you fold up, glue up paper? Funny, this is paper. In all the other radios I've seen, this is a sheet of plastic through here. Now there's another string. This is actually a piece of nylon, like fishing line right here. It's quite taut. And that's to catch the bottom of the pointer and keep it from coming too far forward or too far back, and then dragging either on the backing plate. Ooh, listen to that. That doesn't sound good, does it? Or dragging on the front glass for plastic in the front. So that's what that's doing. So this is just an example of how European radio, German radios are like 3 or 4 times more complicated over a North American radio. You won't find anything like this in a North American radio. No. Well, maybe if you bought a really expensive one, maybe in the later 60s, you might find something like this in it. Maybe. I don't think so. I don't think so. But there's nothing for me to do here. This has changed shape a little bit. The plastic has been stretched, or did it break underneath that piece of paper? Oh my gosh, let's take a look. Let's see if I can see under there. So something is shrinking, something is stretching. Hard to say what it is exactly. I don't think there's anything I can do about it though. It's not visible from the front. You can't see through that front piece of plastic. You see nothing of what's going on in behind. So not to worry too much about it. It's all intact. Great. Back to the string. Oh yeah, we're going to look at the string diagram and see if that's where the spring should really be. Okay, a long radio comes with a long schematic. Well, there's the schematic for the radio, and another page in the service manual shows the string diagram. So here we are looking at it now, and yeah, you know what? I can see how it matches. That big wheel is this wheel. String appears to be wrapped around it more than it shows here. You don't need to wrap it around a few times to get a grip on here because it's locked in place. So that's how it's shown here though. Just then up around the upper wheel. Catches the pointer. Pointer's right there, and then look, there's a spring that's missing right now. But the string the break point where we can assume the spring once was is way over here. It's supposed to be right next to the pointer. So is the pointer loose on the string? No, the pointer I can tell because the way the string is, it's in its position where it always was. So you can't get this pointer all the way to here and have a spring here, which would then come down and go through these pulleys. You can't have that arrangement. It can't look like this. Unless the string has been broken forever. Now, it doesn't even make sense. How would you get this into the wrong position on the string? Okay, another way of looking at this is the capacitor is, oh, the capacitor is as stiff as can be. Well, that's probably why the string broke. Okay, so I want to move the capacitor to one extreme. I don't want to unspool all the string here. There, I'm at one extreme. This would be the, I guess this is most open. Most open position. So we're at one extreme anyway. Now the string is kind of, well, I can tell from the diagram. Diagram shows it coming off the bottom to the top. So that would mean if we head upscale, this is turning this way, the pointer's going that way, so at the end of the scale it's here. So it's where it should be based on the position of the capacitor, but who knows what's going on with the string here. So that means the pointer's in the right place. All indications are the pointer is in the right place, or the place it was on the string the whole time. What's this break doing here? Where did the spring fit into this? That doesn't add up. Okay, I was going to say maybe the string's been completely removed and completely reinstalled upside down, backwards, and inside out. Getting it out from here is not easy with a continuous string. The only way that this can be wrong is because it came off and was put back on incorrectly, which means the ends were fed around and then this thing was tied. That still doesn't explain why this is here, that is there, and there's no place for the spring. Not adding up at all. In fact, this pointer would come all the way down to here. That would put the spring right in this area, just about to crash into here. So you really have to tuck it up pretty darn close. And it is pretty close. It's very clearly shown in the diagram. There's the other string. That's really weird, isn't it? So this is an unusual way the tuning works against. There's only one tuning knob. Oh, I think I see what they've done here. So there's one tuning knob, and it's moving both the AM and FM all the time together. The FM is tuned inside this box. You can see the string going through the box. Comes out the other side and goes down and attaches to a shaft that is actually the rotating shaft of the capacitor. The rotating shaft is rotated by this. Rotating this rotates the shaft, rotates a pulley that pulls on the string that pulls this through the FM tuner. Big alignment sort of issues here with the pointer. Getting the pointer in exactly the right spot on the string is a critical factor in making this work. It's a simple, like this is, hey, a string sounds simple. No, it's not simple. It's just the string. I thought, oh my God, there's another string. No, it's the same one. Okay, you know what? For now, that's okay. Let's leave it at that. We'll go back to trying to play the radio. I've seen enough of the string to know kind of what I'm up against here. I got some things to think about. I'll spend some time thinking. I find it's good to give time for the correct ideas to show up and displace the bad ideas. Bad ideas often come to mind first. Again, they're bad because you haven't thought them through. Okay, I'm just going to clip lead those together. I gotta move this cabinet. You know, I can use the volume, as in space volume. Okay, this way. Speaker connected. Yeah, it's tuning the FM too. So it's actually all working okay, except for the string. Good. Well, get the power cord here. Now I'm going to fire this up. Oh, that's not the best phrase to use, is it? I'm not going to plug this straight into the outlet, into a regular outlet. That would make it dependent upon my house protection, my circuit breaker, and my fuse panel to interrupt any power problems that might occur with this radio. Well, that's a 15 amp breaker. That's a lot of power. I don't want that to happen. So instead, I have an arrangement in my shop called a dim bulb. You can look that up on Google and find out more about it. A dim bulb is just a way of putting the electricity through a light bulb on its way to operate whatever it is you want to operate. That's the bulb. This one's there too, but this one's unscrewed right now. And this outlet is the one that goes through the bulb. There's more to it than that. So this guy, although you see three prongs, there is no three prong. The third prong is just sitting here going nowhere. This goes back to a transformer that is then plugged into a regular outlet. So we're on the output side or the secondary side of a transformer. And this presents my shop with, in some ways, a better safety arrangement, if you like. But as I'm always saying, the key to safety is understanding what's going on in your shop, not making a particular arrangement and then declaring that safe and then not worrying about it again. No. You got to keep the thinking cap on all the time, no matter how you do your shop arrangement. All the time. Okay, so thinking cap's on. So I'm now going to power this guy up. Oh, I got to get at the switches. I'm really looking at the wrong end of this thing. I really should be looking at the front of it. Yeah. Okay, somehow it didn't. Okay, did I manage to get there? Did I manage to do that? That was the toughest operation all day. Okay, let's just move this out of here. Everything got all messed up there. Okay, looks like we're safe to start. Volume here. Tuning is by hand like this. antenna is this for AM, is nothing for FM right now. We are switched to, just get this here, on off tone, so it's AM, FM, on off, and leave the other two. Okay, so the set is currently off, is it? Let's see, that would be on, that would be off. So it's off, so we're going to apply power. Here we go. It's going to go through the light bulb, but nothing should happen. Good, nothing's happened. Now I got a cool little box here that tells me the voltage at the outlet, 123 volts. Okay, so as soon as I turn this on, it's going to draw a tiny amount of power. That's going to drop almost nothing off at all. So the whole set's going to run with 123 volts. Perfect. If there's a short circuit in here, something really terrible, this thing draws a huge amount of power, this light will come on bright. I don't expect anything. This is a 10 watt machine, for crying out loud. Here we go. So I heard a little thunk come out of the speaker. That tells me things powered up. No hiss, no hum, no nothing. None of these buttons push. Let's push the AM one. Oh, that's great. Let's tune the radio. Let's go the other way. That's working fairly well. There's no hum coming out of this that I can hear now. Anyway, good. Well, let's try FM. For an antenna, I will grab a clip lead. On the lines of any old clip lead. Okay, so the FM is where? Which of the FM was the upper one? FM would appear to be clipping rate here. I should give it some kind of antenna to work with here. Okay, FM, and volume up. Perfect. Tuning.
In this generation to proclaim Christ. You're known as the nation's pastor. Think of that, what was intended for evil. But our frontline workers each and every this week we're celebrating our road warriors. Anybody out there making it all go round in the middle of all this chaos? Good morning, Jamie.
Hi, I'm just calling to shout out to my husband who's a mechanic at George and Schmidt. Going into them, he's got to touch the steering wheel, which is a dirty spot for hands and whatnot.
Yeah, you got to be extra diligent. You just don't think of those things, you know, and it's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's keeping safe wearing gloves, so.
Okay, that was interesting. So, off. Radio's working great. AM, FM, it's all working really quite well. So this really is just a matter of getting the string on and then getting the light stop right on the front of the radio. Really needs its lights. That's the challenge. So I think I'm going to leave it right here for now. That'll be it for today. And then tomorrow will be all about getting that string done and maybe the lights. Maybe we'll get that done. and then we can check a little closer on the alignment and the like, but boy, it sure seems to be working really well. I'm really hesitant to fool with a radio that's working that well. So thanks a lot for watching today, and I'm on my way to Costco. Going out there. See you tomorrow.